Tim in here in the BAM. Excuse me. Here I've got a little amp that I got in for trade. Another builder built. I have since went through it and repaired it correctly. It looked like a pretty new build. One Toshiba non-dot 2290 driving. Appears to be two new Toshiba 2SE2879. If we go over to my parts selection that came out of the amp, had a 1000 puff on the output. I put a metal clad. It had a 150 and a resistor. I have to look up the color code for that one. And they had another 150 that I just threw on the floor from here to here with a resistor. So I changed the wire out and did the wrapping correctly, put the correct capacitance, changed the feedbacks, put a correct capacitor for tuning back here. They also had a feedback resistor on the driver section. Don't need that. On the input here, they had this resistor coupled with these two capacitors. And initially I did a video of it, and it was isolating, meaning that if you watch the watt meter's going woo, 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 woo. And you look at it on Spectrum, and it was showing the exact same preference or exact same movement on the Spectrum as well. So we went through it, did our thing, cleaned everything up. This particular builder doesn't use a lot of solder. He just barely tacks the items down. So we went through and cleaned up the solder on all of the joints, added more solder where it needed to be, and made it work right. You know, I mean, that's the main thing. So now we're going to show you in a couple different radios. We're going to start out with our top 99V. It does, let's see here. I don't need to use that slug for the radio. And this 50 right here is super duper tight. So I'm going to show you just what my radio does. Let me turn this amp off. These 2 meters are coming from the radio. So you got a 5 watt reflect going to the radio, then a 50 watt for peak going forward. I got a peak kit on order to put in this one, so there's no multiplier. It's just peak on and off. So let's show you what the radio is doing. 50 watt slug, and like I said, it's really tight. 40 watts on the peak side. If we look at it on the average side, it's showing we're doing about 16 to 18 on the average side. Let's find that 100 watt slug. And I'll get rid of that stupid 50. I don't like that 50. We're back on average. That average is showing 100. So let's go back and there's my 25. Alright. Make sure I know this 25. That's not the 25 I was wanting. There's 25. No, it's still not the 25. Nope, that's 25 I was wanting. I've had this one certified. You can see where some years ago I got bored and started picking at it, but I had this slug certified. So let's show you what it's doing. So it's doing about 16 on the good old average scale, and I have got to get a cord hooked up here so my video does not get come up, does not stop on me. Nah, I thought I had my phone a little more charged. Alright, so you see what we're doing. We're doing a good whopping 16 average, and we can show it over here, which barely move the meters. Alright, let's turn on the amp. Let's show you key down voltage on the top radio. The key down voltage is 14.3, which is car. That is your car voltage. Actually, car goes up to about 14.6, 14.7, 14.8, somewhere right in there. So 500 watt slug and average, lights on, off, so it'll be reading average, peak, on, fresh batteries. I am building a regulator board for my peak kit so I can get rid of those batteries. They eat those batteries up like crazy. A variable is wide open, and about 255 average and about 500 and 460 on the peak side with this radio. So now let's turn off this radio and go to my average radio. 500 average, lights off, peak. See what key down voltage is. 14.2. And let's see what we're doing. Average, peak, during the middle scale. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 on average. 1,000 watt scale, peak. 200. There's 300, 400. There's 500, there's 600 on the peak side. So right about 400 average and about 480 on the peak side. Now, this is something I can do. We can carry our voltage up, say 15.5, and what is it on key down? 15.2. 450 on the peak, on the average, I mean, and then we're looking at a little over 500 on the peak side. This little box is stroking. Since I have modified it with those Toshibas, it is moving. It's got a nice, good high flow fan. No remote jack. It does have a little connector on it here, a little 50 amp. Let's see what it's pulling as far as amperage. Put a 400 on there. Turn that off. We have it zeroed out. Turn it on. Fan pulls a third of an amp. 61 amps. Like I said, it is hot. But now I'm driving the snot out of it. Let me turn my other radio on that don't drive it quite as hard and see what amperage is. Yeah, see about 48. Alright, long little video for a little two-peel, but kind of goes through everything that I've done to it to get it up to snuff and try to find it at home. I am asking $350 shipped, OBO. Contact me. I'll throw a little Tin Man sticker on it. I'm not going to say who the original builder is because I'm not going to get in that bashing fest. I'll put my serial number on the back. If it don't sell, I'll bias it and use it as a driver amp. We need to mount one up for a driver. A lot of these other guys are using Texas Stars, and you know, I've got a brand new Texas Star 350 over there. That's you know, working really nice. All right, anything we can do, we'll try to help. Now, this is not a number you can text. Do not text that number. Email me or go to my website and fill out the contact form. Do not text that number. I'm getting a lot of people saying they can't get a hold of me. You can't text that number. That is a landline. Business phone number. All right. Tin Man, I'm out.